Okay, welcome again to this 5-minute Bible study. So, in the battle between David and Goliath, we find many spiritual principalities and complex spiritual maneuvering into play. And we just want to list them because it's important for us to understand as we talk about spiritual warfare. Number one, the battle was between the demonic forces and angelic forces. Now, like I said previously, in a spiritual battle, sometimes we think Jesus is the one who is fighting. No, Jesus is the leader of the host. So he commands the army of God. He commands the angel as God. So we have in every battle, when we fight in every battle, we have angels. The Bible said the angels of the Lord surround them that fear him. So we ought not to be afraid because we have angels that are ministering spirits that are ministering to us. One of the work that they do is that they fight in the battle. They fight in battles for us. They are like our security, and they are like the one who is providing help. You can remember when Jesus was in the garden and he was praying, the Bible said that angels came and ministered unto him. The second thing, that it was a battle of how the demonic system attacks those who are in Christ and seeking to make them servants. Saul army, it seemed like it was Saul army that was fighting against Goliath army, but actually it was the demonic power that was fighting against the children of God. So anytime the devil fights against us, he fights against us for the purpose of making us the servants, his servants, instead of us being the servant of God. Now, he wants to make us slaves so that he can bring us down to a lower life, to a life of serving the wrong master. The spiritual warfare is for the purpose of making, because in a warfare, when you talk about war, you're talking about two sides that are fighting. So we are on God's side. So we are soldiers. We are in the army of God, so to speak. We are servants of God. So why does the devil want to fight against us? When there is a war, the purpose of a war is so that the other side can make the other side their servants. So the devil wants to make us his servant instead of us serving God. And so he fights against us. But by the grace of God, we are victorious all the time. It was also a battle that to prove that God can supernaturally intervene in the affairs of those who dare to trust him. You see how great the army of Goliath was. So in other words, in spiritual warfare, God always supernaturally intervenes in the battle, and he fights for us, and we are always winners. It was a battle of faith in God versus a system that harasses its opponent by instilling doubt and fear. Now, in spiritual warfare, as we're going to see, one of the greatest weapons in spiritual warfare, or maybe two great weapons in spiritual warfare, is faith and fear. So Goliath, from the inception of the battle, he tried to use fear. And of course, unfortunately, it worked against Saul and his army, because when Goliath spoke, when Goliath came with all his, he was an impressive looking person with personality. The Bible even described how he was dressed up and all of that. It caused them to flee. It caused them to run away from Goliath. But then it caused fear in the hearts, and that fear caused them to become losers even before the battle started. But then David showed up. The Bible says, then David showed up, and David began to speak words of faith, and through his faith, we see that he overcame the army of Goliath. Now, it is a battle that was between pride versus humility. Goliath was a very proud person. In a spiritual battle, in spiritual warfare, we always ought to remain humble, because as we remain humble, God begins to exalt us. We see Goliath is standing tall and he's defying the army of God. He's speaking. You can see that he's a very proud person. And that's what the devil is going to do. But as long as we remain humble, humble means that we are trusting in God and not trusting in ourselves. It is a battle, or it was a battle that was typical of unregenerated humans that are used by the devil to attack spiritual people. What really happened, Goliath may not have known totally, or the army of the Philistines may not have known totally, but they were being used by Satan to attack the people of God. In spiritual battles, you see that the devil uses people, uses individuals, or he will use a whole group of people to attack the people of God. That's why sometimes you see people attacking it looks like people are physically attacking the church, or attacking a man of God, or a group is threatening the affairs of the church. But behind the scene, they are being used by the devil to attack the people of God. All of these things happen in spiritual warfare, and that's what we are seeing in the story of David and Goliath. God bless you. We'll be back next time to continue 5-minute Bible study.
To keep watching, follow us on Facebook at Life Changing Center and on YouTube at S. Oliver Bond.